Introducing Luminous, the beautiful girl with silver hair, heterochromia, and a gothic Lolita-maid outfit. Despite not looking like a demon lord at all, she is actually one of the second-generation demon lords and an awakened demon lord after experiencing several Tenma Great Wars. Her true identity is the strongest vampire queen who overcame the sun, despite being a vampire. She is also the god of the Western Holy Church, which aims to exterminate monsters, despite being a demon lord. Her true intentions remain a mystery. In this video, I will introduce the characteristics and strength of Demon Lord Luminous Valentine. Characteristics of Luminous. Luminous is a gothic Lolita demon lord with silver hair, heterochromia of red and blue, and various options attached to her. This beautiful girl uses old-fashioned language in Japanese and is the princess of the true ancestors of the vampire clan and also a second-generation demon lord. She is also the one and only god of the Western Holy Church. Additionally, she is strictly not a vampire but a high blood, born from the blood of the ancestral god, making her mysterious. Since Luminous has lived for a very long time, she is also familiar with the primordial demons. Originally, she was a princess of the vampire race, and she belonged to the highest-ranking species. Therefore, while monsters are supposed to be eliminated targets for the Western Holy Church, the Western countries do not know that she is a demon lord and live in peace. Luminous continues to rule the country secretly, keeping the fact that she is a demon lord hidden, but at the same time, she seems to be an existence that wishes for human peace. The reason for this is that, for the vampire clan, the blood of humans who feel happiness is of high quality, and she creates an environment where humans can live in peace for her subordinates who need to drink blood. Luminous has created a perfect system where her subordinates can regularly consume human blood, and people can live in peace without being threatened by monsters. The system is so rational that even Hinata agrees to cooperate. Although Luminous has a flexible way of thinking, she is quite lazy and may have retired from her position as a demon lord because it was too much of a hassle. She also pursues her own desires, as seen in her weakening of her immunity to self-poisoning and teaching Rimuru how to get drunk. She also developed the arts of the country, and it seems that she and Rimuru have similar tastes. The Secret of Luminous. There is an important person when it comes to talking about Luminous. Surprisingly, it is Chloe, the student who Rimuru was in charge of in the Kingdom of Ingracia. Using her unique skill, Chloe goes back 2,000 years to the past in order to reach the future where she can protect important people by making contact with Luminous. At first, Luminous was suspicious of Chloe who suddenly appeared before her. However, after experiencing the future scenarios that Chloe has seen and heard, when Verdora attacks the Night Rose as predicted, they begin to believe in Chloe. In the main story, Luminous, who had become resentful towards the evil dragon after the beautiful city was destroyed, showed a mysterious reaction to Rimuru's statement that Veludora was his friend at the Walpurgis. Anyway, thanks to Chloe's efforts in evacuating the residents, there were no human casualties due to Veldora's rampage. As a result, Luminous came to trust Chloe and they became closer than friends by spending nearly 2,000 years together. Luminous took care of the ice coffin that sealed Chloe after she fell asleep and still cherishes it to this day. However, that secret information was to be used by someone else. The purpose in Walpurgis. The demon lords who responded to Clayman's gathering were mostly uninterested in his proposal and were either bored or paying attention to the existence of Milim or Rimuru. In the case of Guy, he simply couldn't understand why Milim would agree with Clayman's proposal. However, he believed that if Milim were to go on a rampage with Clayman, it would be a major problem as it would upset the balance between the demon lords. He also mentioned that Leon could be affected by the damage caused by them. Leon was only interested in a certain super beautiful girl, but he was serious about running the country, so he decided to participate in Walpurgis to protect the country's survival. At the same time, Leon was also looking forward to Walpurgis, as the topic of his conversation with Guy was about Rimuru, who was speculated to be the one who released Veldora from his seal and interfered with Leon's summoning. Dino, the demon lord who had originally served under Veldanava, is an angel who has completely fallen into laziness. He was worried because it seems that Milim, who was given power by Veldanava, is being manipulated. And Luminous left the political matters to her subordinate Gunther, so she should have just listened to the report later, but she attended in the guise of a maid. Surprisingly, The reason why she participated in disguise was to protect Rimuru. In fact, Luminous had also been told about Rimuru through Chloe. For Chloe, both Hinata and Rimuru were important, and she told Luminous to never lay a hand on them even if they ended up fighting each other. However, the actual situation was different from what she had been told, so she was confused. Furthermore, when Luminous learned that Rimuru had suddenly become a demon lord and would also participate in Walpurgis, she took action that was not originally planned. She had considered adding Rimuru to her subordinates and protecting him depending on the contents of their conversation, but Rimuru turned out to be more powerful than she had thought, and as a result, Luminous suffered great damage when her true identity was exposed. Strength of Luminous. One of the strengths of Luminous, who is the true ancestor of the vampire tribe, is that she overcame the sun. Vampires cannot survive under the sun, but she overcame it with her power. She became overcomers with no weaknesses, and her subordinates also have multiple overcomers whose strength surpasses the country's army. Luminous specializes in using holy magic that deals with data particles, and she is able to destroy or heal targets. Luminous' unique skill last evolved into the ultimate skill Asmodeus, which governs life and death. This power can bring back the dead if their soul remains, and she resurrected Hinata, who had died once, with this ability. Additionally, Luminous' another attack Death Blessing turns the living into the dead by enveloping them with the hand of the invisible god. It cannot be prevented unless one has mental resistance and a certain amount of power, so it can be considered a cheat skill. Luminous is quite kind, and she sometimes takes over the wishes of dying people. In that sense, she can be considered one of those who understand Rimuru's kindness. Connection with Tempest. After Rimuru resolved the misunderstanding with Hinata and reconciled with Luminous, they established a non-aggression treaty between the Tempest and Holy Empire Ruberius. Rimuru and Luminous deepened their relationship through the banquet and decided to strengthen their diplomatic relations and hold international exchanges. Thus, Luminous will have connections with the members of the Jura Tempest Federation, especially with some of them. Evaluation of Shuna's cooking and performance. Shuna, who is Benimaru's younger sister and holds the position of Kanagi, one of Rimuru's loyal vassals, supports the cultural aspect of the Tempest with her cooking and sewing skills. Luminous, who enjoys food and art, highly evaluates Shuna's cooking, and her tempura immediately became Luminous' favorite. When Luminous had another chance to eat Shuna's cooking, she was visibly disappointed that it wasn't tempura, but she seemed to like the pork braised in soy sauce and miso soup that came instead. When Shuna performed on the piano at the Tempest Founders Festival, Luminous was moved by her gentle melody and applauded her before Rimuru did. She suggested cultural exchange as a result of this performance. She was so pleased with it that she repeatedly asked Hinata if there was still no music exchange meeting, even though Rimuru had put it off because of being so busy. Many similarities with Rimuru. Luminous and Rimuru have many similarities, such as giving power to their subordinates, aiming for their country's cultural development, and entrusting difficult tasks to their subordinates. Let's take a look at their relationship first, and then I'll explain their similarities later. Luminous' first impression of Rimuru was formed before they met. She knew that Rimuru was someone whom Chloe, whom she treasures, also treasures, and at the same time, a complex existence who is friends with the detestable Veldora, who destroyed the country for fun. However, after drinking together and deepening mutual understanding through the banquet, Luminous and Rimuru became relatively comfortable with each other. Luminous taught Rimuru various things, such as how to weaken poison resistance or the secret of faith and grace, and the fact that there was a presence among the VIP of the festival who emitted an unpleasant feeling. They became good Demon Lord friends after getting along with each other. Shitty Lizard. Veldora, one of the strongest species of the Tensura world and the true dragon who was Chloe's companion and sealed in the Infinity Prison by Hinata, whom she flew with in the past before becoming friends with Rimuru, only knew how to enjoy causing trouble. Luminous was a victim of Veldora's rampage and he messed up her beautiful Night Rose Palace. Although Luminous hated Veldora and called him names such as Shitty Lizard, Evil Dragon, and Stupid Dragon, Veldora himself did not remember her name and conveyed it to Rimuru as Millis. When Veldora apologized in his own way, saying that there was no ill will, it was a mistake due to youth, and that he should be forgiven with a generous heart, Luminous became furious. She inflicted excruciating pain and discomfort on Veldora's soul with embracing drain. However, Luminous somehow couldn't hate Veldora so much and seemed to think of him as someone who listens to Rimuru's words obediently and listens to people's stories. During the battle against the giant demon Lord Dagruel, when she was overwhelmed by the impossible power gap, Veldora's figure came to her mind, and she denied it as impossible while smiling naturally. When Luminous was trapped in a hopeless situation with time stopped by Dagruel and unable to move, Veldora appeared and guarded her with his fist at the moment the attack reached her. For Luminous, Veldora became a hopeful existence that she hated but shattered despair. Deepening friendship with Shion as friends. Shion is an Oni with a cool beauty and is Rimuru's secretary and guard, assigned by Rimuru because of her looks. However, her coolness is only in appearance, and her actual personality is a brute who tries to solve everything with power. Surprisingly, Shion is good at playing the violin, and she received praise from Luminous for her performance with Shuna at the Tempest Founders Festival with their intense melody. When Rimuru decided to send subordinates to other demon lords, Luminous nominated Shion. She gave the unused kitchen to Shion, who lamented that her skills would dull if she couldn't cook, and arranged for the ingredients. Shion's cooking is dark matter. Although the acquisition of the unique skill cook resulted in the taste being altered to be delicious, the appearance remains grotesque. However, Shion's cooking skills have improved considerably under Luminous guidance. In the battle against Dagruel, Luminous and Shion fought together. Shion, who had become friends with Luminous, believed that Luminous had a plan and challenged Dagruel, despite the overwhelming power gap. However, Luminous' attack was blocked by magic nullification. Luminous gave up halfway, saying that her secret plan was useless and that she couldn't win, but Shion didn't give up and kept attacking him repeatedly. Upon seeing that, Luminous couldn't abandon her friend Shion and chose to stay on the battlefield instead of running away. Although Luminous had always clung to her life, this was an act of kindness that was consistent with her original self, who kept the promise with Chloe, her friend. Common points of Rimuru and Luminous. Here are some unexpected common points between Rimuru and Luminous. Dependence on others. Both Rimuru and Luminous tend to depend on others. Rimuru thinks of delegating important tasks to others and enjoying himself, unlike Guy, who uses people but does not disclose much information. This is also different from Hinata and Yuuki, who tend to be caught up in their own abilities. Luminous, on the other hand, tends to leave work to Gunther and Louis, causing neglect in management and problems. Love for beautiful women. Both Rimuru and Luminous love beautiful women. When they were taken to the hot springs in the Tempest, Luminous was more pleased to see Hinata's naked body than the vast bath or the unfamiliar structure. Luminous also used her magic sense to watch Hinata in the hot springs from every angle. She enjoys entertainment like this, which is rare in this world. This seems to be one reason why Luminous and Rimuru get along. Love for delicious food. Luminous does not resist unfamiliar food cultures. She enjoyed the tempura and pork belly that Shuna reproduced from Rimuru's instructions. As an existence that has lived for a long time, she seems to have pursued her own desires. She even taught Rimuru the method of adjusting his resistance to alcohol and getting drunk. Pursuit of cultural development. Luminous also promotes the development of the country's art and hopes for cultural exchange with the Tempest at the Tempest Founders Festival. This focus on entertainment is rare in this world, and it could be a reason why Luminous and Rimuru get along. Attitude of peace and coexistence. Rimuru idealizes a happy life where humans and demons coexist, while Luminous maintains a peaceful life where humans and vampires coexist. Both are fundamentally pacifists, so this is another common point between Luminous and Rimuru. Although the Luminous religion had a doctrine that did not recognize the existence of monsters, it was abolished easily because Luminous herself was a demon lord and the rule was only to protect people from monsters. Too kind. And above all, the common point between these two is their kindness. This was evident during the battle with Granville. Luminous' kindness overflows in the fact that she ends up forgiving the evil dragon. As for Rimuru, he cannot hate Yuuki, who shares the same hobby as him, and tends to interpret it positively. After all, we can see that Luminous and Rimuru are similar in many ways. What did you think? This time, I introduced Luminous' characteristics and her common points with Rimuru. Luminous and her country are economically prosperous and has a solid strength, but since it has established diplomatic relations with the Tempest, If anything threatens the Luminous camp, the Tempest army or Veldora may appear to help. Despite being swayed by Luminous character, those around her seem to receive various benefits. On this channel, I will continue to study and enjoy Tensura, so please subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next video.